Hello and welcome to Madrid Direct. Our guest today is Miss Denyse Drummond-Dunn, creator of the Winning Book series, and we'll interview her about her latest publication, Winning Customer Centricity, the first title in the series. In this first part of the interview, we'll find out what made her write the book and why customer centricity has become such an important topic in the business world today. Denyse Drummond-Dunn, thanks for being with us today.
Good morning, Elena, and thank you for inviting me.
We're going to talk today about your last book, Winning Customer Centricity. Many have praised this book, among them the CEO of a company like Unilever, one of the biggest in the world, and Paul Polman said that the new thinking you bring to the table was especially appealing. What's the most innovative idea that readers will find in your book?
Well, I was very privileged and lucky to get people like Paul Polman who he said actually it's a must-read for today's and tomorrow's marketeers, so he really liked the book. I don't think actually it has very innovative ideas. I think it's just that it puts a lot of best practices together in an easy-to-read format. And it's not innovative to talk about customer centricity. It's become a bit of a buzzword, but the trouble is most people are talking about it, but when they actually need to action it or walk the talk, they struggle. So that's why I wrote the book.
What made you write this book, and who is it addressed to in general?
The book I wrote, as I said, because I found so many companies struggling to bring the customer to the heart of their business. They knew the customer has become important, but they weren't quite sure how to make this importance felt within the company. So I wrote it really to help companies to become more customer-centric and to give them ideas on how to bring the customer to the heart of their business.
The format is also quite original, and could you explain how the content is structured and why you choose this format?
Well, I think if you even look at the book, it has a cartoon on the front, so I think for a business book that's quite original. And when I wrote the book, I really thought about what would corporate or business people like to read. I remember I've spent most of my career in large corporations, and the problem was I had tens, if not hundreds of books sitting on my shelf that I never read, or at most flicked through. So I never got to action the great ideas that were in there. So I thought, if I was writing a book for me, what would I like to read? And it would be something that's simple to read, is attractive and quick to read, because we all have too much to read and too little time to read things. So what I did is I structured it. The book has 50 chapters, which might sound a lot, but the chapters only have 2 pages each. So the book has 50 chapters. The idea would be you read one a week, and you have 2 weeks off for vacation. So you can read, of course, much faster or slower as you like. And each chapter contains an action for the week. It starts with an inspiring quote, because I find quotes very appealing and people do like them, and a small cartoon on the topic for the week. And then it gives examples of how to action the objectives, the sort of things that you need to do. And then I give some ideas of how to do it. So if you see the action but you don't know how to apply it in your own business, I give lots of examples and ideas to do this. So it will take you a couple of minutes, 5-10 minutes to read, and at the end of it you should be able to immediately think how to apply it in your own organization. So it's fun to read, it's the inspiring quotes, the cartoons, very quick read, and very attractive, I hope, anyway. And I hope the readers will have as much enjoyment as I did writing it.
One of the first ideas in your book is get to know your customers. And we mentioned large corporations. You have experience in large corporations worldwide, but can small and medium enterprises also benefit from your method? What if you don't have the budget to invest in research? How do you get to know your customer, both actual and potential?
Great question. Although I've spent my life in large corporations, in fact, I now also consult with smaller organizations, and in the book, most of the ideas, I try to give examples of people, the corporations that have very little budget and people that have more budget if budgets are needed. If, for example, you're a small, medium organization and you don't have much money, well, you can get to know your consumer by just observing them. If your products are sold in stores, go into the stores and watch how people buy. And if the store owner gives you permission, you can even talk to the consumer as they're buying your product. If you're selling a service and people buy it over the internet, you could maybe analyze your social media contacts and comments. If you have customers that call you or you call them, you can ask questions about what they like, how you could improve your services. And so there are many ways to get to know your customer without actually doing market research and spending tens of thousands of euros.
Customer first is one of the golden rules of marketing. Do you think many companies still get it wrong today?
Yes, as I said, unfortunately, we all know that the customer is important, and as I mentioned with social media, if people are unhappy, or even if they're happy, they tend to share it. And in the past, you might share it with friends and families, so maybe 10 people. Now you share it with the world. So very quickly, a brand or a company can have its image improved or destroyed just from social media. So I think people do know it's important, but they still struggle to understand, well, what does it mean for my individual company? How can I put the customer first in everything I do? And that's why I wrote the book, to give them ideas on how to start.
That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for the next part of the interview with Miss Denyse Drummond-Dunn on her book, Winning Customer Centricity, on the next edition of Madrid Direct.